Welcome, everybody. A lot has happened since the last time we seen or spoken. The Boks have beaten the Lions. There were quite a few surprises at Wimbledon. When did we last speak to each other? That was just the end of May. A lot have happened. I mean, we're still all here. If any of you had the unfortunate, in a very unfortunate event, lost family members or friends during this period, our condolences. I know there are some students who have very close family and parents that they have unfortunately lost due to COVID. I'm generalizing. I'm not going to specifically point out any individuals. But hopefully all of you have stayed safe. Today's session, as I said, is an introduction just to catch up where we've left off, how the vegetation and everything and the weather is in Namibia, everyone, how all of you are doing, where you are. I know Zasha is looking very much forward to the start of the Premier League season, like I am. And just to see where everybody is, what the vibe is. Somebody said to me yesterday, why don't you haven't you taken a break? I said, break? What is that? You're in education. We don't take a break. The students take breaks. So I hope that you have taken a well-deserved break and that you've rested well. And this is, believe it or not, end of August is just around the corner, and then it's downhill. So we've got a lot to cover. It is not a very tough module, to be honest with you. Again, I'm generalizing. In my opinion, it's not a very difficult module. It's a interesting module because very often I think the perception, there's a perception that if you're not sure what you want from a career, then you go into sales because everybody can sell. Part of what we'll do in this module is to address that perception, which is not true. Not everybody could sell. You're not a born seller. You can actually be. There are certain skills, obviously, that makes one person sell better than the other. But it's not just about sales. Like sales is just a part of marketing. It's a method of persuading a potential customer to buy from your company, not somebody else. But it's also very important in operations of a business. And we are going to be looking at how things have changed over time. I'm involved in developing some learning material for other tertiary institutions, and one of the aspects that I addressed was that in marketing specifically is that although we've gone completely digital, the traditional methods and principles are still very important, and they still apply, and they are just modified in the new modern digital format of marketing. You kind of check out the traditional principles and expect to be successful. So we'll embroider on that and how it links to how it syncs and aligns with the modern day way of marketing, and especially then also how it has changed within the COVID period, because many of the traditional methods could not be applied, although the traditional principles still apply. Anybody at this stage? I would prefer to go, because it's not a big group, one by one, and see how everybody's doing and check in, and you're welcome to anybody to open the conversation and just give us an update and say, hi, Corinne, I'm here, I'm fine. Nothing has happened in the last 2 months. I feel good and I'm ready for the term, or I'm confused, I don't know where I'm going, whatever. Just to get, I want to just to get a basic idea, because it would have been more personal. It would have been more appropriate, I think, if it was a contact session on campus. But I can't postpone that till next week, or till whenever we do have a contact session again. So I would like to just start off with that today, just a sort of a check-in. I'm pretty sure you had your check-in during orientation last week with management, but I would like to, for this specific module, just see what your expectations are. How much do you know about this particular topic, or is it something completely new? And because it's always nice for me to know where you are at the moment and presently on this specific topic, because then we can the whole module can guide you towards where we want you to be. Anybody like to kick off? What do you expect from sales and ops? What do you think sales and ops actually is? I've given you sort of a overview of what it is, but what's your take on it? Anybody?
Sir?
Yes.
Isn't it just, is sales and operations, is it like just normal how things are sold and the way that it's sold?
Yes, obviously, in this particular module, we'll be looking at specific skills that's required to be successful in sales, especially because the perception, there's the perception that anybody could sell. You know what? If a product is good enough, we don't know salespeople. The product would sell itself, and that kind of sort of we have. There's a lot of consumers with that kind of perception towards the role of salespeople. So we'll be looking at different types of selling, characteristics of selling, the different types of skills that we should or could possess, or that's recommended if you want to be successful in selling. How things have changed over a period of time, especially the last 2 decades, and especially I think how it's been fast-tracked to be more sort of done on a digital platform over the last 2-3 years. And yeah, some businesses want to expand, some businesses want to operate abroad, some businesses want to do international trading. Is it different? Where are the challenges? Can we just duplicate what we're doing in our home country? And then very importantly, I think, and we'll see that in the second session of today, after we've addressed the assignment, the first 2 chapters is very much a summary of work that you have done in year 1 in business marketing, which you hopefully can still remember some of, but just to as an introduction, get the ball rolling as to where sales specifically fit into the overall marketing strategy of a business, and very importantly focusing on relationship marketing, because that's the new buzzword. You want to focus 80% of your efforts on those 20% of the clients who will provide you with 80% of your turnover. How do you nurture that relationship? And then we'll finish off this particular module with the process of recruiting. the right people for the right job. Because somebody's a fast talker and a smooth talker doesn't necessarily qualify that person to be a successful salesperson. That is, again, part of the traditional perception of salespeople. Smooth talkers, they can sell sand to an Arab, an ice to an Eskimo kind of approach. It's far from that, because as the different marketing philosophies, and that's where we'll start off this today, just to recap what you did in year one: the marketing, the production, the sales, the customer philosophies or orientations. As they have evolved over time, the marketing approaches and the selling approaches have also we're required to adjust. And basically, in a nutshell, that's what the entire module is about. But you're quite right. How to sell is not the issue. You can sell the wrong things to the right person and not make a sale because you have not pre-qualified that customer sufficiently. You can also sell the wrong stuff to the right person because for similar reasons. For us, it's important. And one of the crucial skills of a successful sales individual is to be able to identify, and here is where the characteristic of or the ability to listen carefully to what the customer says and not just try and push a prepared speech or down their throats. Then you're just chasing the sale. And sales and operations is specifically to address those kind of issues that so often is customary or has traditionally been customary to the profession of sales. But you're quite right, yeah. Identifying what the customer needs, linking that with what you have to offer to satisfy the customer, to satisfy the customer's need, to solve their problem, so they're not left with the product that they have bought because, wow, what a sales pitch, and then eventually, I actually don't need this. And that's what we want to avoid. That's where sales, and that's why sales have always had a bad reputation, or salespeople often, as over time, have built a bad reputation because people felt that they ended up with products that they didn't really need because they bought into a very good sales pitch, and it's far from that. It's the focus have changed from that initially, yes, to where it is very much relationship management at the moment when it comes to sales management. But yeah, you're spot on with that one. Anybody else? I'm so glad I'm starting off with a double period because that means I can manage my time better because I still have to get used to the 40-minute periods as well. I'm very much in favor of that. I've been for many years that 1 hour periods is just too long. But yeah, it's the fact that we do not have any breaks between classes or 5-minute breaks between classes is going to be something to get used to for all of us. Online's easy. I just changed the document on the screen. Guys take a break and have a coffee or whatever. But there are new challenges, but we'll get used to it. It's that if you don't challenge yourself often enough, you don't know that you're actually capable of doing it. Anybody else? How's everybody doing? I've spoken to Jessica, I've spoken to Corinne, Skalk have given us some input, Larissa as well, Ron. How do you feel for the season?
I'm good, sir. Stressing, but good.
What's your level? On what level does your stress, or what sort of gets you stressed at the moment?
If I have to put it on 1 to 10, I'll say a 12. Mainly just with like the exams that pass now and with the assignments that are popping up. and all these new subjects that are popping up now as well that we haven't done before. Everything's new.
Don't be stressed. We're all in this together. I have good faith for the term ahead. This group is a nice small group. I think we in total we're just Belleville students. I think we 11 or 12 students in this group. I had a look at I previously lectured this particular module to students in 2018, 2019, and last year. The groups were much bigger, and also that always sort of cuts into your time to be able to deliver personal attention to students who need it. So if your stress levels can be reduced with the my commitment to be able to, from a time point of view, to spend more time with the individuals. Yeah, hopefully that will help. But yeah, that's the intention to ensure that with a small manageable group like this, that we have more interaction. And I'm not going to necessarily use breakaway rooms and split you into groups and stuff like that, but I would like to have a nice interaction for the sessions that we are online and not in class. But you know what, it's a very interesting topic. Once you start with it, at the moment you're just seeing it as another module and you are unsure of what to expect, and as we progress, I think, yeah, but with anything new, I mean, the first time you do something that you're unsure, and obviously, as a result, that your anxiety would be so much more or so much higher, and hopefully we can address that throughout the term. I have learned a great deal in semester one, like you have as well. As I said at the start of the semester one, it's not just the students who have had to get used to a new management system. We had to, as facilitators and lecturers as well. We are more comfortable with it. I still believe, however, that you shouldn't be too comfortable with anything, because that is usually when you lose your edge. But we are definitely much better prepared for the second semester. I feel more prepared for the second semester than I have for the first semester for various reasons, but I think it's also for us being more familiar with the current system than 6 months ago. So yeah, obviously anything new usually results in levels of anxiety. Anybody else who wants to contribute? Anybody else? Something? I know that none of you won Olympic medals. I checked, and I think we only won 3 medals. So, therefore, I'm convinced that it's none of you. No, maybe it surprised me. Geez, where do they get all those fast 18-year-olds? Or should I say, claim to be 18-year-olds sprinters? Although they look very young, but wow,
they don't look normal, but yeah, they definitely run fast.
Only registered the birth was only registered when they were 5 years old, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're 18, but actually 32.
18 going on 32. No, well done to Namibia. I was quite surprised. I was, to be honest with you, I was a week or two before the Olympic Games, I was dead set against it happening. I was just not, this is not the right thing to do for what we've been experiencing, and especially what Japan has been experiencing at that point with COVID and just going into a state of emergency again. And I have to be honest with you, I'm pretty much one of the first ones to admit afterwards that, you know what, we actually sort of needed this. It lifts you, even for the day. I mean, I've already forgotten the fact that we've beaten the Lions, but that experience immediately after and the day after, everybody walks around with smiles. When Tatiana won the gold, it was just amazing for a day, and people. So it does help people to temporarily forget about their serious problems, and I think it was necessary. Yeah, it was. I was quite surprised, and I'm quite happy that it actually did happen eventually. I think it provided a lot of people with hope that normality will resume at some point in the future. Just don't rush it. Just still be careful. Anybody have been vaccinated? You guys? Oh no, you guys can only get vaccinated from 1st of September, right? You have to go. You have to go. Oh wait, it's actually a breeze, and you only feel down for a day, and then you're fine. But it's necessary. It's the only way. Anyway, anybody else anything to contribute at this stage? Anything I should know about? Any issues? I know I've got the textbook issue that I have to address with Lucille. Anything else at this point? Nobody? All good?
Seems like it's
It sounds like everybody's good. Okay, let's go to the assignment. And again, because we've got double period, students, what I'm going to suggest as well is if I overshoot with 5 minutes or so, don't worry. The following period, you're still with me as well, so it's okay. And I'll figure it out how to manage the 40-minute sessions. Or how to manage our time over a double period to ensure that you get the full value for time, but also that we have sufficient breaks. So I would like to, and one of the things, before I start with the assignment, I just want to tick off a list that everybody has access to Canvas. You've been on this particular module homepage, have you? So you've seen. I want to know if you've seen if you've actually visited the page and had a look at during the overview or in the overview page on what the assessment criteria is, what the assessment guide is. In other words, we will be writing online class tests, 4 online class tests. All of them each count 2.5%. In other words, jointly, all class tests will accumulate for 10% of your semester mark. There will be one assignment, only one assignment. That's the one I'm going to discuss now. That counts 40% towards your semester mark, and then your test that you'll be writing, which we have provisional dates for. I think the last week in September. Yeah, I think the last week in September. This time around, we have allocated a specific period for term tests. There will still be a continuation of lectures during that time, but all lecturers have sat down for each group, and we allocated the tests so it does not interrupt your learning, and it does not put you under so much pressure that you skip a class to rather focus on preparing for a test. More on that as we progress. I know that I've submitted the test already. It's at the moderator, but we'll start off in the semester with assignment, which is due in about 6 weeks' time. It's quite an interesting topic I've selected. I'll explain to you why I've selected this topic. Let's go to the next page on the slide. Let me see. There we go. Your general instructions, people, that's on the assignment, that's on Canvas. I'm not going to highlight anything in particular. You will see that the dates for submission is Friday the 17th of September. However, because we do have, you know that you can submit late, but you lose 10 marks for each day up to the third day, and then you get 0. So on Canvas, the submission date or the due date is the 17th, but it is open until the 22nd, which is the following Wednesday, after that weekend. In other words, to provide you with a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the following week, after the 17th, still to submit, but obviously you will then be deducted marks. That's one of the things that we've changed from last semester. We can actually preload those dates for late submission, so we do not have to do that once students have started to submit, because that just creates other problems. So there will be 3 extra days. That's why there's you'll see on your assignment on Canvas, it says that it's available until the 22nd of September, but the due date is the 17th. That is just to clarify that. You can submit up to the 22nd. After the 22nd, nothing will be accepted. You will get a 0 immediately. Those extra 3 days are just to allow late submissions, but with penalties, as it says there in your general instructions. Okay, everything is going to be done through Turnitin again. You're familiar with that, and it's also on your instructions on Canvas. Right, the assignment itself, I'm not going to go read through that. You can read through that. I'm just going to summarize to you why this particular company and what this company is about. You can read in more detail. You can visit the site that I have used to access this information. I'm rather going to go to the next slide, which is your actual assignment, what we want you to achieve, or what we want you to do to complete this assignment successfully. Way back in 2004, I got involved through a friend of mine with a company called Wellness International Network, WIN, which have since been renamed to WIN Worldwide. And that's the information that you have in your case study. They are basically a company who are based in Dallas in Texas, Plano specifically in Texas, suburb of Dallas. And I actually went to 2 of the, I went to the head office in Dallas myself. I also visited the branch in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, because that was the second largest market they had at that stage. They're operating in 10 countries throughout the world. South Africa is one of them. And basically what they are is they specialize in nutritional, natural nutritional products and skincare products. The founder of the business, Mr. Rolf Oates, was actually a truck driver. And his motivation for starting a business like this, and not specifically, he didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, geez, I'm going to go into nutritional products. But he had a burning desire to be able to finance his daughter's expenses to go to her prom. He couldn't afford to pay for her dress and everything else that went with it, because he was a truck driver and he was literally earning a fee per kilometer. So if he wanted to earn more, he had to drive more, and he had to be away from home more. And that's why Rolf and his wife Kathy started this business in 1992, and it's become global. I've not been involved with them for a number of years now, but I still use the products. There are specific products like the Phyto White, the one that you see in the front row of all those products on the screen. Green, the white bottle with the green label. Phyto White is an absolute phenomenal product that has been used very successfully with people with terminal diseases. It's all natural products. The Biolene is the nutritional, is the dietary product, the ones right on the right-hand side. There's and all the products are Food and Drug Administration approved. So that was very adamant. And what they basically are is they are a distribution company. They don't manufacture these products themselves. They basically source these products from the original manufacturers, and they just basically put it in a products in a product range and distribute it globally on behalf of those companies. For instance, the skincare products are from very well-known European and Swiss companies who are well-known brands, which I won't mention now. They'll be part of your research that you'll do to complete this assignment. And then the entire range of cellular products, the bottles that you see stacked on the two of them, there's a range of 14 of them. On the right-hand side of the or left-hand side of the screen, it's basically based on the concept of if you want to fight a specific disease, you need to ensure that on a cellular level, when there's a cell duplication happens, because remember, you get a cut in your hand, and a week later it's healed. Basically, your cells are reproducing all the time. Now, if you want to really have, if you want to actually duplicate a healthy cell, because if you duplicate a healthy cell, your chances of getting sick is so much less. In other words, if you take a photocopy of a piece of paper, let's say what you have on the screen, you actually print, and you now want to copy that. You copy the copy, and then you copy the copy, and you copy the copy, and you continue copying the copy, and eventually end up with a blank page, because the quality is just reduced every single time that you actually take a copy to duplicate and not the original to copy from. That's basically the principle behind this. So I got involved because I was very intrigued. I used some of the products myself. Sure to Endure is a product that actually has been one of the sponsors for the Dutch, the Netherlands Olympic team. It means it's safe. It means that it works. As a matter of fact, the story behind the Sure to Endure green capsule that is used for endurance, and specifically to reduce the build when you exercise. There's a lot of lactic acid that builds up in your muscle. That eventually leads to you tiring and then eventually cramps and stuff like that. What they and the study behind this particular product actually goes back to what has happened way back, many years. I think in the 70s, all of a sudden the Chinese athletes were doing phenomenally well, and then somebody started doing some research as to why. And apparently some of the Chinese coaches actually took the substances from the Sashanja berry, which we find very high up in the Himalaya mountains, which is the berry that the goats ate before they went into hibernation for winter. They know they were going to be traveling long distances. They needed endurance, and they ate from this from this particular bush that has the Sashanja berries. What the Chinese or some of the Chinese coaches did is they actually took the goat urine and added that to some of the products that they gave their athletes, that enhanced their performance. And it was all natural. All that Win has done is that they've actually put that in the capsule, so you don't actually have to now drink the goat's urine anymore. So a lot of thought has gone into the products and the product range. I know that, for instance, the Mass Appeal, which is a creatine product, is one of the best in the world because the molecular density of the product is so high. In other words, It absorbs very quickly. It doesn't go through all your organs in your body, and then half of it stays behind, and it has side effects and which you don't really want. That's why creatine has got a bad rap. But like anything, in moderation. So the product range is not in is safe for human use, has been used for many years, have been very effective. And I've chosen that because I thought, you know what, let's just do something different for a change. What you are going to do is, for this assignment, is we're going to assume that you have successfully graduated with Stadia, and you have all the skills to be successful in sales, and you have now been appointed as a sales consultant for Win Worldwide. You are going to select one of the products, and as I said, this is not go to the textbook and find something in the textbook. The principles that you'll in the questions that we'll address obviously will be part of that. But and those are the questions on the screen. You're going to select a product from their range. You'll go onto the website. You'll see what the range of products are. You'll pick a product. And these products nowadays are available on Amazon and on Takealot. So there's different tools that you can use to access more information. You'll do proper desktop research. You'll find the product. You'll select the product. And then obviously what we would like you to do is then indicate to us, list the different features of the product and the benefits that the customer would receive from it, because that's what we do in sales. You need to know what the benefit of the product would be for the customer. Otherwise, you're not selling the product to the customer. You're selling the benefit of having that product and the benefit of using that product to the customer. The customer wants to know, how am I going to benefit from buying this product from you? So basically, question 2, you're going to list to us features of a product and also the benefit of each of those features. We will, after tomorrow, you will be able to complete question 1 already, and that is to indicate what particular marketing orientation or marketing philosophy this particular company Win follows. We'll see. We'll deal with that in the latter part of today's session. I just keep my one eye on the clock. We'll take a break very soon. People, in my opinion, there's not too much. It's not too important to go through every single question individually. I'm pretty sure that as you go through that, and as we progress through the work, you will be able to answer or ask better questions, because you will have done the work. But the first 3 questions pretty much sort of are work that you've done already at some point in time in marketing in your first year, and what we'll cover in chapter 1 and chapter 2 of this particular module. Summarizing the most important, what's the difference between an objective and the strategy and the tactic? We'll address that within the next 2, well, still this week, as a matter of fact, in our lectures that we have tomorrow and Friday, and in the second period today. So I'm not going to go into too much trouble. I want to specifically highlight when question number 6, when it comes to referencing and your bibliography. Make sure that you have a substantial range of references that you use, or resources that you use, and that it actually includes a great variety as well. Textbooks and blogs and articles, websites, not just 5 of the same. It's easy to go to Google and find 5 different articles that you can resource or that you can reference, but try and bring in some variety. I'll be looking at that specifically when that comes to play. And then towards the end of, and I think it will be towards just before you finish this particular or are ready to submit your assignment, we'll be dealing with international trading and selling internationally. That's question 5. If this company is already present in 10 countries, how do you, they want to expand. So what else can they do? What must they consider before they enter a particular, so you're going to identify 2 more countries that they can potentially also enter into to trade internationally. What should they be looking at? Language, the cultures and stuff like that. We'll address that in, I think, chapter 6 of this module. But that's what question 6 is about. The rest of the stuff is pretty much quite simple work that you have done before. It's really nothing of great significance. Because we have the time, because we are a smaller group, I will definitely have more regular discussion sessions, and I would almost like to say, let's do the Friday afternoon session. Let's use this as a sort of a weekly progress discussion on our assignment until the assignment is submitted. Anybody, any questions at this point? Because I'm going to just take a short break, or allow us to all take a short break. This period was 11:05 till now. Am I right? I'm also getting used to the new timetables. Yep, 11:05 until 11:45. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave this particular session now. I'm going to stay online. I'm just going to mute myself and change the screen to reflect chapter 1 and 2 that we will start just now after the break. Let's take a nice 10-minute break. I know some of you have joined before the session already. Should we say we take a 10-minute break and we resume the session? I'm not going to. Should I stop the recording and keep it 2 separate classes? I'm going to stop the recording rather, and then we can resume again for the next session. I'll stop the recording now for this session.